Teddy's pissed off at you.
What'd I do?
When you hit him in the head with a golf club.
Oh, well, that's been coming.
That was
payback.
I think a lot of people forget is that Teddy literally killed you on our The Last of Us Part 2 review.
I've killed you too, right?
I think, yeah, in the past you've killed me a couple times, cut off my hand.
No one kills me, though. I'm untouchable. Oh, wait, no, Teddy killed me.
Yeah, he did. He shot you with an arrow through the heart.
No, I ate that, though.
It may have been through the head. I don't know. I got pretty graphic with that.
No, I had a mithril armor on, so it didn't even touch me.
Is that from Star Trek?
Oh, God.
Well, actually, before we start this, I want to give a quick shout out to one of our listeners, TJ. Actually, I want to give him an apology. Your girlfriend was nice enough to message us and say, hey, my boyfriend's a big fan of the show. Can you guys give him a shout out on the next pod? And I said, oh, sure. It's perfectly lined up like a couple days after his birthday. Totally forgot to give him the shout out, which I've done over the years to many, many people. So, you know what? I'm just going to apologize to all of them. This was about you, TJ, but now it's about everyone.
Yeah, once a year, we'll just say happy birthday.
This is for all our listeners.
What's today? January 24th.
Happy birthday day.
Happy birthday to everybody who listens.
Everyone who listens, happy birthday. But yeah, I guess it will be known as also TJ Day.
Yeah. So next year we'll be back.
Yeah, we'll be back, TJ. It won't be on your birthday. It will be on the 24th.
Yeah, we'll never remember. But
no, we won't.
If you're listening to this, make a notification reminder and then tweet at us 24th 2024 and be like, hey, it's birthday day.
2024. Oh man. It's got a nice ring to it now. It's going to be a significant day.
Dates don't make sense anymore.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Nerd Soup Podcast. I am Bo Oliver, joined here today with Aaron, the Nerd Soup Monkey. And we are back to talk about the world of, well, just today we're talking about the world of Hollywood. We got the Oscar nominations this morning for the 2023 show. They didn't take a break last year. They were still on, unfortunately, and here we go, chugging on along. Got some snubs, got some surprises. That's how it goes with the Oscars. How did you feel, Aaron? Quick thoughts. Were you satisfied, dissatisfied, somewhere in the middle?
I think there's a few shockers, right? But I don't think anything outrageous. I think everyone has their preferences going into Oscars season and awards season in general. And when those aren't met, people get mad. But when you really sit back and look at it, you can make a case for so many different, to dwindle it down to what they do. It's not an easy process, but I obviously haven't seen everything, so it's hard for me to pick out one category, especially with a actor whose performance I haven't seen and be like, they shouldn't have been in. They should have. So
that is always difficult.
But yeah, I think the biggest surprise, well, not really a surprise because India didn't use it as their nomination for their picture was RRR, and I would have loved to see that sneak in to the Best Picture nominations, but it didn't get the nod.
Yeah, there was a lot of hype building towards them getting the Best Picture nomination without getting the International Feature nom, whatever you want to call it. And there was hype building and some frustration building as well with the possibility of Tom Cruise being nominated. That was going to split people, and that's why I really wanted to see it. I do think he actually is deserving. But once again, I haven't seen Bill Nighy in Living. I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't want to watch Living because it's a remake of one of Kurosawa's best movies, Akiru. So I hope that people, when they do watch this, they're inspired to go back and watch the original because a lot of people consider it a masterpiece. But for the most part, for me, like I said, it's becoming more and more difficult to get excited about the Oscars. I woke up today trying to find an excuse to avoid it on today's podcast, but how the hell are we going to call ourselves a movie podcast and not talk about it the day of? So
we
here
also
we are.
Disappear for months at times, so I don't think it's the most egregious thing.
You know what? That is a good point as well. I don't think people would have minded.
We could have just not done the podcast.
The initial idea was to do a Last of Us spoiler discussion with Teddy. So telling people that, they're probably like, what the fuck? You made the wrong choice.
I still need to watch that episode. I heard it was a good one.
Good episode. Yeah, really good. Teddy was pretty solid on the review. Made some good points. He was a little out of it because of the whole golf club incident, but I think he pulled through.
Yeah.
I hit him with one of those first aid kits. I just wrapped him up, like Dribble does.
It's always so funny when you think about video game adaptations. I just want to see a scene where they just find little knickknacks and create a healing potion. Yeah, or a nail bomb.
That's what we said on our review, that we want to, in a realistic way, see him makeshift weapons, a piece of wood, and he just puts nails on it or some shit. Teddy goes, do you think they'll incorporate his hearing? I was like, yeah, I don't think so.
You know what'd
just
be
hear
funny?
through walls.
Just talking about Teddy now, it's like if we sent him to Sundance next year, I feel like that'd be hilarious.
In what way? With a camera on him?
No, he just goes and sees all the movies and.
No, I think he would. Eventually, he would give into it. He may be frustrated at first. I think it would be more annoying than anything because it's like putting us. I don't know. What is Teddy like that we don't like? Like going to see monster trucks. Okay. That sounds like a Teddy thing, though, right? Monster trucks. But yeah, golf. I actually do love golf. I think it's fun to watch too.
Really?
It's relaxing. It's tranquil.
The old Oscars to golf segue. Can't beat it.
Yeah, well, I want to let people know you can listen to this wherever you get your podcasts, so if that's how you prefer it, or listen on YouTube. You know, we may eventually make that switch to the YouTube podcast channel, but we're having some negotiations behind the scenes. So strap in, settle in, and we'll let you know. But let's get right to it. Well, social medias, where are we? Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, at BoSoup, at NerdSoupMonkey.
You didn't do this already?
No, I don't think I did do this. I asked you your thoughts on the Oscars. I said keep it brief, but we're out of time. Look at that, guys. Good show. Aaron, how was Sundance? Quick thoughts? No, let's get into the Oscar nominations. Then we'll talk about Sundance.
Okay.
You met Maisie Williams, though. No, we'll save that till the end.
Yeah, it's a good tease.
You didn't really meet her.
I did. Good tease.
All right, so should we start with Best Picture?
That's the big one, huh?
That is the big one. So I'm
Actually, start with
scrolling
editing.
here.
Make the listeners earn Best Picture.
You know what? I'm excited for editing. Well, I think it's Everything Everywhere All at Once had to have won, right? I think that's the one category I didn't, or had to have been nominated. Yeah, I think that's the biggest shoe-in.
Because Elvis is a wild one.
I'm excited for the viral Elvis clip that shows how poorly edited it actually was. Bohemian Rhapsody did win, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Funny ceremony. Okay, Best Picture. So I'll read out these nominees since it is the big one. All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water, The Banshees of Inisherin, Elvis, Everything Somewhere All at Once.
That's not it.
That's how Teddy does it. Everything Everywhere All at Once. The Fabelmans, Tar, Top Gun Maverick, Triangle of Sadness, and Women Talking, which I'm going to see, well, I guess today.
Oh, nice.
This podcast is dropping Wednesday. So I'm excited about that. But
yeah, it's solid. I don't know. I wanted to put it in Best Picture, but I think Sarah Polley, right? She directed it. That was talk that she might get the nomination, but
yeah, I know people were upset not only about her not getting a nomination, but the director of The Woman King, who her name isn't coming to mind, but The Woman King was pretty much shut out, right? In all categories. I don't think there's any nominations for it.
Yeah, there was some talk about Viola Davis or Lashana Lynch, but yeah, nothing on that front. I enjoyed that movie.
Well, there was All Quiet on the Western Front.
Yeah, I guess that's going to...
It's looking like it's Everything Everywhere All at Once's race to lose, right?
I hope so. I mean, that's just such a unique movie, and for it to get that recognition, I think, would be really cool. I'm trying to look up... Yeah, so, I mean, like, starting with All Quiet on the Western Front, like, this is why I hate this... the way they set up these categories, like that's going to win international feature because it's.
I could see it not winning, for some strange reason.
How is Argentina? If Argentina 1985 wins,
right?
Then why isn't it nominated for Best Picture? It just makes no sense to me. Put in another film, like because now this category.
Well, Triangle of Sadness is considered an American movie.
It's not nominated for. That's what I was checking because I was confused a little bit. But it's not nominated for. Because
I could have swore it is considered. It's.
That's what I thought. That's
not made from an American studio.
That's why I had to double check. But I guess you can make the same argument about Banshees, right?
Right. Well, I guess there's also you have to consider maybe Germany's selection for the shortlist, All Quiet on the Western Front, because if it's not, then it can't be nominated. It does come down to what movie the country wants to back and get behind. But that's why some people thought that. It didn't matter that RRR wasn't in that international race, that they were just going to run it for Best Picture. I thought it was going to get that fucking nomination, man.
Yeah.
But I guess I'm not going to be surprised when All Quiet on the Western Front does win Best International. It's got a chance at Best Picture. Does that make it a little better if it won Best Picture and Best International?
I don't think it's deserving, but I mean... Like
people fucking love that movie.
No, it's a good movie.
That's general audiences really loved it too. Well, coming out on Netflix, everybody got a chance to watch it. So
this Oscars, when you talk about just movies that people have seen. I mean, no one's seen Woman Talking, no one's seen Triangle of Sadness in the general sense. I'm thinking of like my mom or my brother. But when you talk about Everything Everywhere All at Once, Elvis, Top Gun, Avatar, I mean, those are pretty popular movies, I would say.
Right. Top Gun and Avatar are the two highest grossing movies of the year.
Yeah.
And the original Avatar was nominated for Best Picture when it came out. For some reason, James Cameron's blockbusters are allowed to be nominated, but nobody else's. Or I guess now Tom Cruise's. And that's why I wanted Tom Cruise to get that Best Actor nomination, because it's not so much about his performance. I think he's good, but it's just about what he represents. He is that classic movie star that brings people out to the theaters. It's not because it's Top Gun, but it's Tom Cruise in Top Gun. And I think that's something that, it's obvious it's dying out. We don't see movie stars crafted in that fashion anymore. It's all about the characters you're playing. But that would have been cool. I don't think it's got a shot at Best Picture, but it's fun to see it there. And like you mentioned, Avatar as well being a massive hit at the box office. Everything Everywhere All at Once, A24's highest grossing movie. So
it's kind of up in the air, though, because like even the Fabelmans, I mean, Spielberg is such a household name, winning...
That's Steven Spielberg, right?
Scott.
Okay.
Yeah, Scott Spielberg.
He would not be the same guy today if his parents named him Scott. Well done.
Or Sammy. It's a name he chose, yeah. Sammy Fabelman. You think Sammy
Elijah.
Fabelman made a Steven Spielberg movie?
Yeah. That was the big running joke.
Oh.
And that in that movie,
guess I'm very...
Spielberg makes the Fabelmans. It's just a continuing loop until the sun explodes.
Honestly, like, I would love to see something like, at this point, like, I just, the story, I think Everything Everywhere All at Once maybe deserves to win. But like, I think it would be fun to see a Top Gun or an Avatar win just because of the type of movie it is.
Yeah. No way.
But like, you can also see like a Banshees one. I'd be super happy because that's another fantastic movie this year. The only thing I'll get really mad at is like if Elvis wins, because
no shot.
But
He's
it's
looking
getting
like the favorite
so
for...
much love.
People love Elvis. I'm an Oscar nominee, mama.
I was gonna say, are you doing Austin Butler or Elvis?
At this point, I don't even know.
I would want to...
I'm doing Austin Elvis.
I had a mock-up of a tweet. It was my dream blunt rotation, and I had Jake Sully in the wheelchair, Jake Sully as the Avatar, and then Elvis Butler, Austin Butler dressed as Elvis, but not doing an Elvis voice.
I don't think he's capable of that anymore.
But I feel like
that is funny.
that
The
would be
two
a wild,
Jake Sullys.
Yeah, it'd be a wild rotation.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. Maybe the voice comes out the higher he gets.
And the Jake Sullys are there in case like I get a bad high and they can take care of me. Because I feel like that would be cool. Austin Butler is more for my entertainment.
Yeah, based on your experiences with weed, I don't think this ends well.
That's why this Jake Sully's there.
It ends with you in a blue Elvis Avatar body.
I mean, that's pretty...
All of a sudden, you're 8 foot tall.
That's pretty sweet. I'm getting
Navi
this done.
Elvis.
I think I had Gandalf in there, too. I don't know why. I just feel like that would
blue.
I think it should be neat.
Gandalf is always getting high.
I know. He's always hitting that...
That one cartoon, man, when Bilbo is smoking and Gandalf just appears from behind the tree real quick.
There's another one of like it's Frodo and Sam, and like he finishes what he says, walks away, and turns back real quick and scares the shit out of Sam.
That's a good one too.
And someone's like, "Why the fuck did Gandalf do this?"
Cartoon Gandalf was a fucking menace.
Yeah.
Cartoon version of everyone is always a menace, right? Dennis the Menace. Speaking of menaces, Tar. Outside shot of winning. That seems like in other years it would be the favorite, but the Oscars don't go for movies like that anymore.
Tar, I mean...
For better or worse, it always seems like, I don't know, the choice for Best Picture, it's inconsistent. Some years they go with the movie that Hollywood loved, and then it's the movie that everyone else loved, Parasite, and then before that was fucking Green Book. And then before that was Shape of Water. And then it was Coda after that, or Nomadland in between. So
Nomadland is such a pick for like critics and
right. If Tar came out in the Nomadland year, it would have been a strong head-to-head. Split the votes, and then you give it to First Cow, baby. Woo!
I mean, it's got everything going for it in terms of like centering around a topic that I can't follow in music. Classical music at that, where I have no idea what they're talking about, but I'm like, oh, Kate Blanchett, she's absolutely killing this.
I believe she knows it though. Yeah, she knows what she's talking about. And
we'll talk about that later at actors, but I think she's pretty much. Actually, no, that's an interesting category, really, when you think about it. But yeah, I like Tar, but like, I guess like I haven't seen Triangle of Sadness yet, so I'm not going to say something should have been there instead of that.
I don't think it should have been there.
Okay, and yeah, I saw Woman Talking, which I'm interested to see your opinion on. Great performances. I think it was pretty well directed. I think sometimes the screenplay wasn't as solid, but like
I've seen some absolutely scathing reviews.
Yeah,
and then people who absolutely love it.
I think it could have been a little bit more. I think I talked about it on my review, like maybe a little bit more nuanced. But like I think any movie that you can keep me invested when it's just strictly dialogue based, like I think that takes a certain skill to keep it up. And I guess if that doesn't work for everyone and you're watching it and you're just like, all right, then that's why you would get turned off from it. But yeah, I don't think it's a best picture type movie, especially when did they get any acting nominations?
No, it did not.
Any screenplay? No director?
I think the only nomination was for best picture, which does happen sometimes.
But a movie like I can see that for a movie like Avatar or Top Gun, where it's such a visual and technical spectacle.
But that was Black Panther, right? It was nominated for Best Picture. No nominations for acting, no screenwriting nominations, technical nominations. And then we see with Black Panther 2, they get their first acting nomination with Angela Bassett. So
yeah, is there anything that jumps out like this should have been nominated Best Picture wise? It's like obviously you could say Decision to Leave or RRR, but like it's kind of hard. I'm more surprised that didn't get a nomination in international.
Well, people were disappointed with international because over the years, the running joke is that that's the true Best Picture group. But there were some snubs in international, like Decision to Leave. EO was there. I know a lot of people wanted EO for Best Picture. But there were some other snubs, I guess, with RRR being a snub. I know some people, well, a lot of people on film Twitter were upset about that grouping. For me personally, nope. I didn't expect it to get any nominations.
Sure.
And it didn't, which was a little surprising that maybe Hoyt van Hoytema, because he's been a favorite of the Academy for a long time, didn't get a nomination for cinematography. People were really upset about the cinematography category.
I mean, if you look at Deakins for Empire of Light, like it is a well-shot movie.
I'm sure it is, yeah.
Is that just like, well, it's Deakins? I don't know. And I think...
I have to see it, but I'm sure it looks amazing. Just based on what that motherfucker...
There's like a scene and there's fireworks, and you're like, yeah, you've seen fireworks scenes all the time, but like it's just framed so well, and it just looks so beautiful. And like, yeah, that makes sense. I just didn't love the movie.
And then who is it for... I always forget his goddamn name.
What movie?
The Batman. He also did Dune.
Oh.
Fraser.
Yeah.
People were upset about that. Greg Fraser. Because over the years, I mean, just over the recent years with Dune, he was nominated. Did he win?
For Dune?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did win, right? Yeah, he's got two of them. So a couple of Oscar Academy favorites were snubbed in some categories there. But as for Best Picture, like I said, Nope, to me, was the best movie of the year, so I was a little disappointed. My list... There's always going to be snubs, but I don't care anymore. At this point, it's almost more of an honor to say that you weren't nominated for an Oscar because that's always the talk. It's like with 2001. It won Best Visual Effects, but the talk is, can you believe Stanley Kubrick wasn't nominated for Best Director? And then everyone shits on whoever won it that year. So that almost becomes the bigger, that becomes a part of your legacy. It's like the teams that win in the 90s, Super Bowls. Can you really remember who won? It's like, yeah, maybe somebody who really loves the NFL, but I bet the Bills went to 4 and lost 4. That almost becomes the bigger legacy, right?
Yeah.
There's so many champions that we don't fucking remember, but we'll always remember the Bills went to 4 and lost 4. Sorry, any Buffalo listeners out there.
Yeah, especially this week.
Just stomping on their grave.
I don't care, though, because I'm a Jet fan, so, like, I have no sympathy for anybody.
I really thought Decision to Leave had a chance. So I guess maybe that's my biggest disappointment.
Yeah.
Especially for Park Chan-wook. I mentioned it. I think he has been nominated before, but I thought it would have been nice to, because he is the second biggest, or you can say that him and Bong Joon-ho are the two biggest, or he and Bong Joon-ho are the two biggest out of South Korea. It would have been nice to just have him there and to honor him a bit. All right, guys, before we move on to the Best Director category, I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor for today's episode, and that would be ExpressVPN. Aaron, I know on multiple occasions you've probably searched for something online that you wouldn't want others knowing about. We won't talk about that here. A lot of people will probably tell you, why don't you just use incognito mode? But incognito mode does not hide your activity. Doesn't matter how many times you clean your browser history, your internet service provider can still see every single website you've ever visited, ever. That's why when I'm at home browsing the web, I never go online without using ExpressVPN. ExpressVPN is an app that reroutes your internet connection through their secure servers, so your internet service provider can't see the sites you visit. It doesn't matter who your internet service provider is, they are legally allowed to sell your information to ad companies. But when using ExpressVPN, your activity remains hidden. Plus, your information remains secure by encrypting 100% of your data with the most powerful encryption available. ExpressVPN runs seamlessly in the background. Most of the time, I don't even realize I have it on. All you have to do is tap one button and you're protected. ExpressVPN is available on all your devices, phones, computers, even your smart TV, so there's no excuse for you not to be protected. So go ahead and visit our exclusive link, expressvpn.com/nerdsoup, and you can get an extra 3 months free on a 1-year package. That's expressvpn.com/nerdsoup to protect your online activity today with the VPN rated #1 by Business Insider. expressvpn.com/nerdsoup.
Well, when you look at like Best Director, right? Was anyone left out there, or because I feel like James Cameron, I think there's ripe criticism for Avatar, but like when you watch that movie, we talked about this with Dune, when you laud over the special effects and some of the shots and bringing everything together and having such a huge success in that way, like the person who is controlling all these aspects,
Who is that person?
That's the director.
Not familiar with that.
The Villeneuve one is still so fucking funny. Getting all these nominations for every aspect of filmmaking. You're wondering who's overseeing all these particular categories. Maybe we should put him in the nominations, but...
I mean, out of these 5, I really don't have a big problem with it, except for, and I'm going after my namesake, well, I wasn't named after him, but Ruben Östlund for Triangle of Sadness. I don't think he was deserving. I don't think Triangle of Sadness, it's a good movie, but I don't think it belongs with, or I don't think it warranted this much consideration and now nominations. But the other 4, I don't have a problem with. I think that, once again, it's Everything Everywhere All at Once is going to be looking to clean up. It had the most nominations with 11. I think there's a good chance they could win 6, 7, 8, maybe pull off a sweep. Who knows? But I think it's the Daniels race to lose. But there's a chance that the Academy looks at Spielberg's resume and says, this guy's only got 2 Best Director awards? Feels like he should. It's like Jordan with his MVPs. You get voter fatigue. Yeah. He's just there every year, and it's just like, one year will he break through, and they'll give it to him. If anything, it should have been for West Side Story. But I think that's a more impressive feat. But I think he could make it interesting. Well, I think it's Everything Everywhere All at Once. They're going to win it.
Me too. I think Martin McDonagh would be fun just because, I think being able to make a movie like that, that's a movie if I told you, oh, you should see this movie, it's pretty good. Oh, what's it about? And I told you the plot of Banshees of Inisherin, you're probably like, that movie probably sucks.
Yeah, I don't want to watch this.
And to make it, as good as it was, that's pretty special. What Todd Field for Tar.
I don't mind that. I think it goes hand in hand, because what I think sometimes gets forgotten with Best Directing is the acting matters. They are the ones directing these actors. They're the ones who are helping them craft these performances. And that's why I like McDonagh being included in this list, because you can argue Colin Farrell gave the best performance of the year, and Brendan Gleeson gave one of the best supporting performances, and Barry Keoghan, and Kerry Condon. It's got 4 acting nominations. That you can accredit some of that to the director.
Yeah, well, even with Tar, obviously the subject matter is something that is,
very dry.
Yeah, but, even to incorporate things just the musical knowledge and then the sounds of the orchestra and kind of being able to present to me, an authentic type look into maybe conduction and things like that. Maybe someone who's a conductor watches that and is like, no, that's not how it works. But to me,
for the most part, I haven't seen people complain about the musical accuracy. But yeah, for me, it was convincing as well. And, you can argue that's Cate Blanchett's best performance. So he's the one who directed it to her. He's the one who directed her to that performance. And it's also a movie that a lot of people like. It's one of the most critically acclaimed movies of the year. So I have no problem with him being included with this.
Yeah.
For the most part, my expectations were met. I think Best Actress is gearing up to be an interesting category. It always seems to be Best Actress, right? I don't know. Is Ana de Armas the favorite?
I think it's Cate Blanchett or...
Hell yeah. Oh, no, Michelle Yeoh.
Yeah.
Michelle Yeoh, yeah. What am I saying?
Did you see Blonde yet?
I did.
What'd you think?
I mean, it was pretty dumb.
Yeah.
It was a lot of the criticisms I tend to agree with. Ana de Armas was good.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think she was egregiously bad. Some people were really harsh on her performance, but others, it was lauded by a lot of people. So I thought she was good. I mean, could you have made room for Viola Davis? Yeah, definitely. I think so. To me, that was a better performance and a much, much better movie.
Well, Angela Riseborough, that's everyone's talking about that, right?
Yeah. What is?
I don't even know what this movie is. I don't know what To Leslie is.
So there's been this internet campaign of them attributing quotes to celebrities about how they were blown away by her performance, and it sort of became a running meme on film Twitter.
Like a Morbius thing.
Sort of like that, yeah. But it's got good reviews. It's got 3.6 on Letterboxd. Jared Leto did not make it. No, that's one I haven't seen, so...
Yeah.
I don't know if she's deserving or not because I haven't seen it, but apparently it is, even though it's become sort of this meme, it is apparently a good movie and has a good performance.
Well, I tell you what, Michelle Williams, deserving, but if you look at the supporting category...
Yeah, why? Why would they do that? I don't get it.
It's like you could, because I think she might be like third or fourth on this list in terms of who I think will win. But supporting, she rises to maybe the top. And I don't think she had a better performance than, let's say, like Hong Chow or anything like that. But in terms of the movie she was in, her performance, name recognition, you could see building a strong case to maybe win that award.
Yeah, definitely. I think she would have ran away with it, actually. Because you have the two Everything Everywhere All at Once. So that tends to split.
Yeah.
Angela Bassett.
I mean, Jamie Lee Curtis, too. That's one that shocks me.
You know what? A lot of people are upset about this, and I'm not. I actually really loved her performance, and I'm glad that it got as many acting nominations as it did. People were upset about the idea of her being nominated over Stephanie Hsu. Luckily, that didn't happen.
Yeah.
And she was snubbed from a lot of these awards, and now here she is.
No, I mean, I agree with that one, but for any movie, if you were going to tell me in this category we're going to have two, I would have maybe thought Sadie Sink for The Whale as well.
Right, there was a lot of talk when that movie was rolling out that she would be nominated. Yeah, I mean, there could have been an alternate reality where she gets the nomination and Hong Chow doesn't. Honestly, I think Hong Chow's best performance of the year was in The Menu.
Yeah. So. Maybe the two of them were both great, so if you were going to tell me one movie was going to have two supporting actress, I would assume The Whale.
I think Lupita deserved consideration, no matter what she's in. Good, bad. I just want to see Lupita on the red carpet.
What, for Wakanda Forever?
Yeah, why not? Who gives a fuck? That's for me. The Academy can't give me a little treat?
Oh, they're giving you Angela Bassett.
Yeah, that is true, man. I do love me some Angela Bassett.
I would be cool. I would like to see her win that. Not even because, obviously we're big Marvel fans and stuff. And
no, it's more for her.
Yeah.
Because she deserves it. She's been so good over the years. So for her to get this sort of recognition, I don't know if she's been nominated before. I don't think she has. But she was fantastic in that movie.
Yeah.
She was the best part of that. The scene in the throne room when she dismisses Okoye, best scene of the movie. So powerful, very moving. So, and honestly, out of this group,
Kerry Condon?
Kerry Condon may be my favorite performance out of the group. She was awesome, and I know she's lining up a new role. I can't remember what the movie is, but I'm excited to see what she does now moving forward. But yeah, out of this group, like I said, she would be my favorite performance, and Stephanie Hsu would probably be second.
No, it's a strong category, I think, especially when you do break down. You can make I think you can make an argument for at least three that could win this award. I don't think I think Angela Bassett will be the favorite, but I don't think it's something where if somebody else wins, it would be a complete shock. Yeah, both actress and lead and supporting is pretty solid.
All right, you want to move on to Best Actors?
Sure.
No big surprises when it comes to Best Actor. This is the most standard list. just based on what everyone was predicting and guessing. Yeah, it looks like Austin Butler, people just seem to really like his performance and are propping him up as the favorite here.
Yeah, I think he was really good. But, I mean, if you'd have told me after I saw The Whale and Elvis, like, it would be, like, I just thought it would be Brendan Fraser from the second I left that movie. But even, like...
I think Brendan Fraser is the better performance. I'm confused by the Elvis hype, too, like you are. I don't know. Best actor. Best actor used to mean something.
Dude, I mean...
Daniel Day-Lewis got 3 of them.
And Colin Farrell, I think, has a better shot than Fraser at this point.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And I think it would go... I think if it was my list, I would have them two before Austin Butler. Haven't saw After Sun yet. It's on my list, and haven't seen Living. So
it's funny. You said Frasier without saying Brendan. In my mind, I thought of Frasier from Cheers. That would have been a surprise.
It's Fraser though, so I shouldn't have said Frasier. There's no Z in there. Brendan Fraser.
Is it pronounced Fraser?
I don't know.
That would be so fucking annoying. And if he corrected us, I'd be very upset with him.
It's the B-Dog?
Yeah.
Nice. Seems like a good guy.
No, he does, but I can still be upset with him if he's going to be annoying like that.
Yeah. What if you called him Brandon? I think people call him Brian.
No, that's
Brandon.
just offensive.
Yeah.
That come on.
But you've seen After Sun, right?
Yeah, definitely deserving.
Okay.
I still think Colin Farrell. I haven't seen Living, but out of this group, I would give it to Colin Farrell. But it's those 3 right there in the middle, super, super strong, to the point of any of them could win, and I would be happy with it. Even though I didn't love The Whale, he was the strongest part of the movie, without a doubt. And Paul Mescal, it's a very subtle performance, but
sometimes those are the best ones. Yeah,
very, very moving. You know,
I do want Austin Butler to win now. Actually, I want to hear his speech.
Well, you may get that wish, man. I think he's going to win. And now it's going to be, he's going to join the club with Rami Malek of undeserving Best Actor winners who played a musical icon.
I remember getting the call for the nomination. I was eating a peanut butter and banana sandwich. My mama called, and I'm like, Mama, your son's grown up and going to the Oscars. Look at me, Elvis Presley. It's like, Austin, come on, man. Snap back.
Maybe he went into it, it's like Robert Downey Jr., Tropic Thunder. I'm not breaking character until I win that Oscar. And on the Oscar stage, he does an English accent. The long troll. What a fascinating man.
It is weird, because like even when you see, you always like find an actor from like Deep South, but I guess throughout the years their accent becomes less and less apparent. Like even Cate Blanchett, and Margot Robbie. I feel like sometimes, I don't know, you don't really find, you don't hear the Australian. Maybe you hear a little of it, but like, I think over time it kind of just slowly all blends. Yeah,
Craig Ferguson used to joke about that all the time. When he went back home to Scotland, they'd say, you sound like an American. Mm-hmm. You've lost your accent. And he's like, over here, they still tell me they can't understand me. But no, definitely. You spend so much time in Hollywood. Gary Oldman used to say that too, that he just eventually lost his accent. He just started talking with an American accent.
Well, Bale did a lot too for promotions for Batman. But yeah, I don't like it. I'm also fascinated by it.
No, it's funny, actually. I'm glad that he's doing this.
He's from Los Angeles.
What a fucking douchebag. Yeah, no, now he's got to win. We need to see that speech, man. Need to see that speech.
I hope it's just normal again. And there's no explanation. But yeah,
I think supporting was stronger. I haven't seen Brian Tyree Henry in Causeway, but in my own mind, I'm just going to pretend this is for Atlanta.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, like he's just so good in everything else.
Oh, yeah.
Even
you've convinced me.
Like that one scene from Beale Street, right?
Oh, yeah. That is a great scene.
And then obviously his work from Paperboy in Atlanta, I'm just like, yeah, that's good. He's probably really good in it. But I will try to catch it before the Oscars. So, I assume he was good in it, but who knows? But he got nominated, so yeah, he probably was very good in it.
That's Apple TV, right?
That's why I haven't seen it.
Damn,
Timothy
you and Chalamet haven't seen it, yeah. Poor kid.
But Brendan Gleeson, Banshees, that would be a cool little, if they both get it, if he gets supporting and then Colin Farrell gets lead. But I think this is probably, and Barry too.
Yeah.
That was nice to see.
Brendan Gleeson, one of the best actors ever, man. So it was awesome to see him nominated.
But I think everyone's like, I think who is going to win and who everybody wants to win is K.U. Kwan.
Yeah, Judd Hirsch. Oh.
Yeah. Judd Hirsch shows up, and he's just the lightning rod.
He steals the movie.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
But, I mean, the story itself is just such a fascinating and, like...
Yeah.
It's almost like Frasier in a way that, like, someone who was just not around for a while and coming back and having this monumental comeback. And not only because of the story, but because they delivered a great roles in great movies. Well, I think The Whale's a great movie. You don't, but we both agree on Everything Everywhere All at Once. Like, it's kind of like a similar... I mean, different circumstances kept him out of the public eye or roles for individual, but... like on a general sense, it's kind of like the same type of deal. And they both just seem like two fucking awesome, genuinely sweet human beings. So you'd like to see people like that win. Like, I do have people I pull for, but usually I can be like, well, if Brian Tyree Henry
I
wins,
want to see that
like,
speech. It's the same thing with Michelle Yeoh, because she's, I mean, obviously what happened to him is super unfortunate that he was blacklisted from Hollywood for just no apparent reason. But Michelle Yeoh has been an icon of cinema for Western audiences for decades. So there's Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. That's a movie that was the first Asian film to win Best International Feature, and people thought that she should have been nominated for that as well. But like I said, the action roles that she's taken and the different Western movies that she's acted in as well, it is like a culmination of such an iconic career. So it'll be great to see both of them get that recognition. But both of those speeches have the potential to make me cry, especially his. Because his story is, like I said, it's just so unfortunate what happens to people in Hollywood sometimes, where the business, you're good one day and the next day it's be gone with you. We have nothing for you. And like you said, it is similar to Brendan Fraser's situation where, with him, I don't know what's worse, being the biggest star in the world and then being told we want nothing to do with you anymore. And especially the things that he went through behind the scenes.
Right, yeah.
He experienced the nasty side of the business, even being that big star. And Brendan Fraser does seem like a nice guy too. And I like watching his interviews. He's got this charming quality to him where he is very uplifting to listen to. And for him to have gone through what he went through and have this optimistic outlook on his career and life in general, it is inspiring. Yeah, it's become like I'm interested in the stories more now than like debating, because I feel like in years past I might have picked somebody like and just like, I would have picked Brendan Fraser, like favorite performance of the year, he has to win, how could he not win? So fuck everybody else who's gone up against him or winning. It's kind of like, well, you can see like, and it's not like the most intriguing discussions to have. That's why I like the First Take and Undisputed. It's like you have these people who pick a take and they latch onto it because it makes for entertaining back and forth, especially if you're going up against somebody like if you were a big Elvis guy and we were just fucking arguing about who's better, Austin Butler or Brendan Fraser, then I'm sure that'd be more interesting, but I don't have the energy for that anymore. No, and I think there are still people who do that on YouTube when it comes to film analysis and film discussion. Adams, if she's nominated next time, I'm choo-choo, motherfucker, driving that train. And anyone that gets in that way is getting ran over. Well, they never even give me the opportunity to do that because the people that I always really, really want, like I would have been that way with Tom Cruise. I would have become so defiant and defending. Would you have joined Scientology? Maybe not. That's a little too far. I don't know if they could. What do they got? I could be convinced into anything. Me? So yeah. No, but they do some fucked up shady shit. No, they really do. They are a problem. We need to keep an eye on them. And the guy who leads the Church of Scientology, his wife has been missing, I'm pretty sure, for years. Just hasn't been seen in public. I think somebody made a joke about that, actually. At Gerard Carmichael, yeah. He was wondering if Tom Cruise knew her location. It was so funny, too, because he was introducing the Top Gun cast. Amazing. Balls on that, man. No, it's funny. It's like, but not funny. yeah. It's one of those things you're classic, like, funny, but not funny. I didn't get it until I saw it on the internet, but then you heard the reaction in the room, and people were like, they got it. Whoa. The people who needed to get it got it. It wasn't even like Ricky Gervais making like a edgy joke. They were just like, it's like, I don't think you could say that, man. Like, yo, somebody's gonna have some words with you after the show.
Yeah, so.
Funny country we live in.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the other categories, we're not going to go through all of them, but are there any standouts?
I mean, screenplay. Woman Talking did get an adapted screenplay.
Okay.
Top Gun, screenplay. Glass Onion. That's interesting.
Screenplay is always a...
All Quiet on the Western Front and Living, yeah.
Nice consolation prize. Glass Onion gets an adapted screenplay? How does that make sense? Because it's a sequel?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I guess they make it like you're adapting it from the original.
The original Knives Out, I think, was also nominated for screenplay, right?
Maybe, but probably original.
Best original, yeah. I don't think it won, but I think it's got a good shot. Looking at these nominations, that's what Tarantino always wins for.
If All Quiet wins,
yeah,
it's going to win international.
Go hand in hand.
And if it gets steam, if it wins adapted, it might win Best Picture.
Yeah, without a doubt.
But original is interesting because, like when I talked about before of Martin McDonagh, like being able to write a story like that and make it so compelling and enjoyable to watch and just be the movie that it is, compared to Everything Everywhere All at Once and the creative writing and just the ideas and everything that we see on screen, that all being attributed to its writing is hard to argue against that too. So it could be a scenario where Everything Everywhere All at Once wins original, All Quiet winning adapted, and you're kind of like, oh, this could be a fun little... But if the Daniels win director, then I think if they get screenplay and director, I mean, come on. I think it's leaning towards Best Picture, no?
Yeah, definitely. So it's funny because Martin McDonagh does have an Oscar for a short film, but he doesn't have any Oscars for screenwriting, and it seems that he's more celebrated as a writer than a director. So I wouldn't be surprised if he did pull through here and win. And I think it would be well-deserving. But Everything Everywhere All at Once, like you said, just creatively, the ideas, the concept of... And the dialogue is very good too, but just the scope of the movie is so impressive. And it reminds you that sometimes these Hollywood productions can be original. Yeah. They don't have to be based on anything else, even though they can be influenced by other films. But even The Fabelmans, a lot of people think it's Spielberg's best written movie, that the interactions between characters aren't as sentimental as they can get at times in Spielberg films. They feel more natural. A lot of people complimented the humor in The Fabelmans, that it was one of his funnier scripts.
Oh, I mean, it's my favorite movie of the year. So, I think it should win director, screenplay, picture, but that's not always the case. But I enjoyed The Fabelmans so much. And I think the change of writing and tone throughout the movie is a testament to its screenplay. I think it navigates through that perfectly. Whereas Sammy matures, so does kind of the writing and the script and the situations. So...
Tony Kushner's done such a good job of, punching up these Spielberg. Not that they need to be punched up, but they make a good duo. Mm-hmm. I think they started with Lincoln, and since then he's written all of his movies, so that's a solid pairing. But what's Triangle of Sadness? How the hell did you get here?
I want to see this movie now.
It's got the best sequence of the year. I said that when we did our best and worst of the year.
No, that's not true.
What is the best sequence?
Beam through a cheetah at a guy.
Sure, but RRR, okay, it's way more complete. So there's definitely a lot of different sequences in RRR, and that would probably be the best one. I mean, Shotgun Shoulders is incredible. But trust me, when you, once again, didn't come close to my top 10, but there is a sequence in Triangle of Sadness where you're going to watch it and think, how did they do this?
Does a character throw a big cat at somebody?
No.
Okay.
But trust me.
Okay.
You may not think it is, but you're going to be like, okay, it gave it a run for its money. Mm-hmm. In the year where a movie doesn't have the cat being thrown at somebody.
Even though it was a terrible idea, remember last Oscars they did Best Moment? And the Flash one? The Flash Force?
Yeah, when he entered the Flash Force, yeah.
They should do like that, Best Moment, but actually pick cool moments and
I actually don't hate that as a category, best sequence or best scene.
Just to get it to RRR for...
No, but dude, this shit in Triangle of Sadness, you're watching it unfold and thinking, if I was in this situation, I would kill myself. It's that insane. Via cheetah. Yeah, you would be begging somebody to throw a fucking cheetah at you.
Doesn't take a lot though. I can spill something and be like, this is it for me, bud.
Oh, talk about spilling. Watch this. Watch.
So I'm sure if anything more severe than a slight inconvenience, I could probably put myself in those shoes and be like, yeah. That's it for me. But yeah, I will watch it, especially because
Just Google that one scene.
No, I'll watch the whole picture.
The whole picture?
Yeah.
Who the hell do you think you are? Humphrey
James
Bogart?
Mance and Sundance. Real quick, documentary feature, Fire of Love. I love that movie. Made my top 5. I hope it wins. Not gonna lie, I didn't see any of the other documentaries, but I know I loved Fire of Love, so I want that to win.
I was going to say, this is your big category since you're a documentary man now.
I know.
I thought maybe you had seen some of the documentary shorts.
Kidding me? Shorts? No, shorts are... I was saying, because they do premiere a lot of shorts, and like, I'm like, every time I'm like, I need to like witness more of these shorts, because I'm sure they're fucking fantastic. And I complain when a movie's over 90 minutes, so I'm like, shorts are... I would probably love shorts.
Sight and Sound had about 3 or 4 short films on their list. And short films can be very good, man. Mm-hmm. And they're short.
I know.
I watched a movie the other day that was 60 minutes, came out in 2020. Did you see this one, Host? It was a horror movie.
No.
They host a seance over Zoom. And of course, things go wrong. They ended up contacting a demon. Should have just played Among Us. Or Animal Crossing. Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm. An animated feature?
I'm excited to watch Fire of Love. Animated feature was actually one of my... once again, I think it's more so just the movies that came out this year. I mean, I'm happy to see Pinocchio there. And
I still fucking hate that puppet.
Puss in Boots definitely deserved it. Why? Because he's Antifa?
The puppet?
Yeah.
No, he's just annoying.
Oh, okay. I thought you were one of those like anti-Antifa guys.
Why is Pinocchio Antifa?
Because he fights fascists.
Oh.
Yeah.
He joined the fascists.
No, he made fun of Mussolini, and Mussolini had that was SpongeBob who voiced Mussolini? Tom Kenny.
Oh, wow.
We really do just can't stay on topic here. But what else made it? Marcel the Shell with Shoes On. The acclaim that this movie got. I know, dude. People,
careful.
Somebody wrote on Letterboxd at the end of their review, they didn't like the movie, and they were like, I would not be able to resist squishing this little guy. But it's written, the appeal is supposed to be, oh, he's a little cute thing, but he talks like an adult, and he makes adult jokes. I don't know. Whatever.
I didn't see
the Sea Beast.
Yeah, but it sounds awesome.
Isn't that on Netflix? I could have swore that was a Netflix movie.
Maybe, but I'm rooting for it.
And I think Idris Elba's in it.
Oh, nice. And Turning Red, I hate that fucking song, so...
I thought you were going to say, I hate that fucking movie. I was like, damn, that's harsh. No, Carl Urban is in the Sea Beast. I don't know
why. Is he voiced the Sea Beast?
I think he's just the main character.
Oh, that's awesome.
Or maybe he is the Sea Beast. Jared Harris is in it too. Love Jared Harris.
My new favorite.
It's Moriarty, man. Should have been young Dumbledore. But I think Pinocchio is going to win this.
And RRR is only Not Best Original Song.
Best Original Song. And you know what? Their team has been so likable throughout this campaign, even though they haven't been getting the nominations I think they deserve. But the way they celebrated their nomination for Best Original Song was awesome. So, like I said, they've just been very fun to watch their reactions. And
yeah, because I would think, too, like, I feel like, unless it's a straight-up musical, I think, like, Indian films are, like, that means, like, the songs are, like, such a big part of movies, right? So, like, I feel like that's kind of, it's not just, like, hiring, like, Taylor Swift to just do, like, a song in your movie. Like,
yeah.
Like,
right.
That's just part of, like, I guess, the film.
No, definitely. You look at the production that they put on, the dance sequence as well. It's not only just a good song, but it was their performances, how it does tie into the story. So I don't know who else is nominated for Best Original Song.
Like Rihanna for Lift Me Up.
That actually was a good song.
Lady Gaga, Hold My Hands. Like there are names.
Right.
But
well, now we get to see them performing at the Oscars, and that's what a lot of people wanted.
Oh yeah, it's cool.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
That's got to happen.
Did you see like the theaters? People were getting up during that scene and dancing.
Yeah,
that's like cool, but like I think I'll be pretty pissed if I was just there to watch a movie. But it is such a fun scene that it might like just add to the environment.
Imagine we did that during the Batman. Just when he flips over Penguin's car.
Yeah, Joker 2. I'm gonna like go off and start doing that weird little dance. I'm pretty
excited
sure
for Joker
cops
2.
will get called.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
They would think something's up there.
But you're fine. They'll probably just take you to McDonald's. All right, guys, before we move on to fan questions, I want to give a quick shout out to one of our sponsors for today's episode, and that would be Storyblocks. Calling all content creators, I want to take a quick moment of your time to introduce you to Storyblocks. Storyblocks has one of the largest libraries of royalty-free footage, templates, music, and photo assets on the internet. Plus, they have an easy-to-use video editor and unlimited downloads that allow you to easily test out different effects, clips, or tracks in order to bring your creative vision to life. New content is added regularly, prioritizing in-demand keywords, so you always have what you need to stay current with trends and news. Unlike other stock companies, Storyblocks offers subscription plans for a set price. No credit systems that drain your budget or those pesky hidden fees. Storyblocks makes payments simple so you can stop worrying about your budget and take back creative control. Choose from thousands of pre-made professional templates for your favorite editing programs, including After Effects, Premiere Pro, or Apple Motion, to take your videos to the next level and speed up your creative workflow. For Adobe users, Storyblocks is now introducing Storyblocks plugin for Premiere Pro. The Storyblocks plugin helps you streamline your creative process by bringing their library directly into your editor. You can easily discover and download new content without switching between platforms, giving you more time for important things, like creating. So head on over to storyblocks.com/nerdsoup and pick a plan that is right for you. You may be interested in an individual plan, or for larger creative teams, you can sign up for their business subscription, which provides all the benefits of a Storyblocks subscription, plus additional benefits like shared folders, administrative controls, download to cloud functionality, and more. So, like we said, head on over to storyblocks.com/nerdsoup and pick a plan that is right for you.
We forgot to pay off the Maisie Williams tease.
Oh, right, yeah. Well, I was under the impression that you guys had a good time. You were throwing back drinks, talking about the channel. You know, I'm a big fan of your role in the New Mutants.
Nah, she was literally sitting right next to me at the bar. And, like, I wasn't going to be like, I don't know. I feel like I wanted to, because obviously, like, she's the reason why, well, she's part of the show that made us, like, be here talking right now. The reason why I was able to be at Sundance is because of Game of Thrones. So, like, obviously, like, I'm a huge fan of hers, but, like, I feel like I can't be the guy who goes up to someone and be like, oh my God, like, hey, it's you. And then start talking about the, like, podcast, like, 'cause then it's just like, what are you doing there?
I would have done that.
I mean,
in a
like,
heartbeat. I would have been like, just, hey,
probably people
Maisie
going
Williams,
up to her
big fan.
all the time. It's like, just let her
But
chill.
all you had to have done was say, Maisie Williams, big fan. And she would have been like, oh, thank you.
Then I just turn around.
And then you let her. Maybe she's like, oh, good-looking chap next to me. Maybe I'll strike up a conversation, see if he wants to star in my next movie. But you blew it.
Being in the next Maisie Williams movie?
That's how you look at so many actors, the way they get their starts. They meet their heroes from the shows that they started YouTube channels. No, yeah, now you're not. Now there's never a chance for you to. Or maybe something. You could have held a boom mic.
Yeah.
I would have been like unashamed because I wouldn't have been nervous.
Oh, I didn't even make eye contact. Yeah, I pictured like I saw Clementine. They actually played Clementine from Westworld too, and like that was pretty cool. But like I'm not gonna
there you go. I wouldn't be able to make eye contact.
But I was kind of just like, you know, people probably coming up to her all day. No one's really bothering her. Like, just let her do her own thing with her friends, hang out. Like, do you? And like, yeah, that was cool. It was just cool being like in that press.
Finn Wolfhard, you have no problem harassing for an autograph.
I didn't even say a word to Finn. I took the picture. Someone went up to them and asked them for the picture.
Things that men have
to
deal with in these society.
But yeah, that was cool. Sundance was fucking awesome, man. I mean, I do get like just so much going on. Like you get kind of nervous or like lost, like lots of anxiety. It's like, what am I doing? Like, should I be seeing this? Should I be doing this? Am I missing out here? Missing out there? But I was kind of just going through, like, met a lot of cool people and just, you know, like 2 years ago, I probably wouldn't be able to like go somewhere by myself and like actually talk to people. Now, like it's still like weird for me, but like I'm getting better, and everyone is just like, oh, hey, what are you here for? Oh, what are you doing? So it is a little overwhelming. You talk to like, I don't know, people just start conversations with you, And I'm used to usually just being like, I don't want to talk to anybody, but like, which is just in general. But everyone was like really nice, really cool. So it's a fun experience. And I'll probably got a couple videos coming with, just the experience and the movies I saw. So look out for that. That's actually one that like I hate promoting videos, but like especially for those ones, it's like the better they do, the better we can like use them to apply to other shit, that cool stuff like that. So I feel like that would actually be a big help, even if you don't like me or the video.
Yeah, you guys should watch them
and
when it does come out.
Even if the video sucks, like just be nice about it.
Sure.
Just like...
They're fans of the podcast. Just give us the like. Great job in the comments.
That's one video, like, or type of video, either it be Toronto or this, like, to shamelessly plug, because it's just like, that just can help us with other things. So people always ask us, like, what can help you? And I'm like, I mean, I don't know, just like, as long as you're watching and having a good time, but like...
Tell your friends, really, that helps.
Yeah, but like, that more than others, because I'm like, hey, Dune 2 is coming out, maybe, at Toronto next year, and...
Well, that's not confirmed. You keep saying that, but...
I just figured, well, it might be. And if it is, I don't want to miss it.
It could be. Something else that's good may be coming out. All right, let's take some fan questions here. We'll take a couple and then we'll wrap it up. This one here from Chloe. Which actor or actress would you say most deserves an Oscar? And for what performance, but has never won? For Chloe, she says Jim Carrey for Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. There are definitely some Jim Carrey performances that I think are deserving. That's one of them, The Truman Show. He is such a fantastic actor. Man on the Moon. Right. Comedic actors are always so good when they cross over to dramas. Well, the great ones. Like just in... So like not a specific role that should have won, but just more of somebody whose career... Could be. Yeah. I mean, take your pick with Amy Adams. Sure, yeah. I mean, that's one I would go with. Or even someone like... Who's like the big one? Like it was always Leo. It was Gary Oldman after Leo. And then now it's kind of Amy Adams, but like... Tom Cruise, Bradley Cooper, Harrison Ford. I'm trying to think which Harrison Ford performance really did deserve... I mean, he should have got a nomination for Han Solo, if we're being honest. Indy. That was never going to happen. Yeah, Indiana Jones. But even for some of his more dramatic performances, I think that he could have squeezed out a nomination for 42. I don't know if he would have won it. But Harrison Ford he's giving performances that aren't going to be recognized because he's similar to Tom Cruise. He's just such a movie star. You know what would have been the perfect... It would have been Blade Runner 2049 if he, like... There was talk about that, man. There was hope that he would be nominated. And that's one of his better recent performances. Like, that's just the perfect... Him coming back to that role, like, in that type of quality of movie. Because even thinking back to Blade Runner, I think it is a very good performance. But you can tell, like... You can understand why people who just think Blade Runner is boring in general might not, like, get anything from his performance. Because it is very... matches the tone of the movie, which is still fucking difficult. And let's be honest, like the most memorable acting scene from that movie isn't his scene. So he's in it, but it's not his performance. But yeah, thinking like... You know who's the best actor in that movie? The chick who's stowed away in the bubble. She's awesome. She's so good in those few scenes that she has. Yeah. Let's see. The great accent. Like thinking of like that... reminds me of like, or you can make the connection to like Creed with Sylvester Stallone, where it's someone who starred in a role is coming back in a supporting role of like the continuing of the franchise in a good movie. Like he had a lot of people talking. He got the nomination. People were pissed. He got the Golden Globe. Yeah. He got a couple of other major awards. They say his speech at the Golden Globes may have cost him the Oscar, which is so ridiculous. I forget what he said or what he didn't say. Yeah, there are none that are really coming to mind. I mean, over the years, I don't know. There's so many good performances. Like, my favorite performance of last year was Rachel Sennett from Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. There was no chance of her being nominated for that. But to me, that was the best performance of the year. And it's so personal. It becomes even more difficult. Movies are tough, but then every movie has how many fucking actors in it? So I think deciding what's the best is impossible. One for me, like Emma Stone in The Favorite, I thought was very deserving. So for that specific performance, I would say that. I always go back to like Leo's first, like he should have won for The Aviator. Yeah, it's tough. I feel like every year you can pick out at least one performance that was probably more deserving. A performance I like more than others is Jack Nicholson in The Departed. I remember thinking... Little rat. Yeah, Little Rat is a rat. He is, to me, a lot of people criticized him for overacting, but I think it's so appropriate. I think it makes that movie really work. And Wahlberg's performance as well. He was nominated. That would have been fun to see him get that win, because it is his most memorable performance by far.
I love that sequence in that movie when he's talking to Leo. He's like, "Do you think you could do what I do?" And he's like, "Yeah, I could probably do what you do." It's like, "I don't want to be you." And he's like, "Heavy lies the crown" type thing. And Leo's just like, yeah.
It's like, you're talking about Jack Nicholson, right?
Yeah, it's like just missing the point, and that's. But like, you never
heavy
know.
Lies the crown.
But you don't know if he's missing the point or if he's just fucking with him, or like he's kind of like, especially towards the end of that movie when he's getting everything's kind of closing in around him. He gets a little.
No, he's definitely got a soft spot for Leo's character. I think he sees a lot of himself in him, so it's almost like he's looking for ways to not kill him, because it's so obvious he's the rat, but he also does like him.
That's such.
And Leo's super convinced. I think that may be Leo's best performance. He wasn't nominated, but just the way he was able to portray the strain of being undercover and having to live the double life makes it, for me, his best performance.
I always love when he comes in a room with the Jesus painting and just hits him over the head with it. He's like, "Is that Frenchie?" Oh, fuck.
I like I like the number 2.
French.
That is Frenchie, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
No, Mr. French. Frenchie is the boy. It's Mr. French.
Okay.
Right.
When
you speak French?
When Jack tells him he's 1 in a million, he's like 10.
Yeah.
1 in 10 million. I may have to rewatch that
fucking movie, man.
No, it is. Well-deserving Best Picture winner. This question here from By Moonlight. Who is someone who has never done it before that you think should host the Oscars?
Why are we getting Jimmy? Like, I'm actually a Jimmy Kimmel fan.
It is Jimmy Kimmel, huh?
Again.
Man, I know there was a big controversy over Kevin Hart's past tweets when he was selected to host, but I was so excited about that because I think his style is perfect for that setting, where he's not going to be there and make jokes about the movies. He's so good at observational humor, and I think he makes his comedy is not controversial. It's controversial because people are sick of him, but I think in that setting he would have been perfect.
Yeah.
I was so excited for that. Because Kimmel, he's going to do the whole lazy shtick of these movies are stupid, they're boring, nobody watched them. But look, Avatar, that's fun, blue people. And his humor is almost, it's too predictable
and
for
he's
this
an
setting.
ABC guy. It's like, you know that like he's going to
shill for ABC.
He'll make fun of stuff, but like he won't give you like a Gervais set or even like an Amy. Well, I mean, Amy Poehler and Tina Fey did both work for NBC, and they did a great job at the Golden Globes. But I feel like Golden Globes, it's kind of like, who fucking cares? We can say whatever we want for the most part. Nick Kroll and John Mulaney hosted, I forget what event it was, what award show. It was one of those in this circuit. And they were actually very funny. And I think they are just very funny in general.
I actually don't hate that idea. Someone who's...
And they do like their own, like they do their comic... They do like a duo, like comedic duo as well outside of that. So they have great chemistry. So it's not going to be like an Anne Hathaway, James Franco situation. And John Mulaney, I think, is just like, I love him. He's hilarious. So
right. There were some suggestions here of Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone because they've had such great chemistry in the movies they've appeared in.
Yeah, but...
Good writers. I don't even know if the show needs a host. Some of the best shows were the ones without them. I thought Chris Rock... If we're going to, stick with someone we know, would have been a better choice. I've actually enjoyed his sets.
Remember when Billy Crystal used to do it every year?
That's the thing. He was the perfect guy because he was part of the industry, but he's also a comedian, and he's capable of holding a crowd's attention, and obviously he's got the background in stand-up comedy. He was truly the perfect guy because he just balanced everything so well. Being a showman, being funny, being likable, clever jokes, not mean-spirited. So,
who would be like?
I don't know who's
even
the modern...
Tina Fey and Amy Poehler. I find them like just so fucking funny. Especially
I'm surprised they haven't done it.
They've done the Globes. Like, I think that would be a good choice too. Like
Stephen A.
Who would be the worst decision?
What's his Ari Shaffir? He would be murdered by the midway point because he'd just be making the most offensive jokes, airing out all the dirty laundry. That would be funny if the Academy hired him without really knowing who he is.
I mean, the Gervais monologues were so fucking funny, though.
Yeah, and they'll never get
like,
him because it's just, at this point, you know what you're paying for. He's going to go there and eviscerate everyone. He's going to burn it down before the show even starts, which would be, I would love to see that. It's just never going to happen.
Craig Ferguson.
I don't hate the choice of Craig Ferguson. He's not big enough anymore because you have to be just like an A-list comedian, whatever the fuck that is. And Kimmel with those late night shows, they just stick around. But Ferguson is coming back to late night. So he's got a new show cooking up.
I've always enjoyed
I like no
Conan.
host. Conan's not bad.
Yeah.
No, he's actually a good person for that type of gig. He never blows me away with his humor, but
It is weird how they don't do the like American Idol, like for the most, like it was just always Ryan Seacrest, or like it's always Nick Cannon for whatever show that is.
yeah, he's got a couple. He's got shows like He's Got Kids.
So are they trying to do that type of model with Jimmy Kimmel? It's like, oh, you're tuning into the Oscars, you're gonna see Kimmel. I don't know.
This question here from By Moonlight again. Has there ever been a Best Picture winner or nominee that you watched and thought was not a good film? Yes. Oh, yeah. I mean, some of the Best Picture winners from the early days of the Academy Awards, some of them hold up really well, like All Quiet on the Western Front, 1930. And then the movie after that, Cimarron, is considered one of the worst Best Picture winners ever.
Yeah.
The second movie to ever win a Best Picture, Broadway Melody, horrible.
I mean, nominees, there's always ones that last year with Don't Look Up, fine movie. I wouldn't say it's bad. It's very rarely do you get a fucking bad movie, I would say.
Depends who you're talking to.
Yeah. Like, I didn't love Licorice Pizza.
Coda pissed off so many film critics. A lot of them liked Coda, but there was a loud minority of people who hated that movie. They kept calling it the Disney Channel Best Picture winner.
I know, but I kind of enjoyed Coda.
In recent memory, the consensus worst winner...
Yeah.
Green Book, yeah. And more so, well, this is now going on almost 18 years, but Crash in 2005.
Yeah.
That is objectively, you watch it and you think, this is ridiculous that this won. Really just liberal Hollywood patting themselves on the back.
Yeah. Green Book. That
was a
year with the
hilarious
favorite
winner.
But it's a movie that you watch like in a vacuum with like Mahershala Ali and obviously Viggo Mortensen. Like they both had good performances in that movie, and I think it's like when you step back like after the movie, like while you're watching it, I think a lot of people were probably like, oh, this is a pretty decent movie. Then maybe sit with it a little, and then you kind of pick out some of the things that like some of the tropes and things that are kind of outdated. But I never once thought it was like a Best Picture winner.
That was a rough year.
Yeah.
Green Book, Bohemian Rhapsody, Vice. Just those three, really.
Big
I mean, the
Vice
other ones. But Best Picture? I mean, I would have taken Vice over Green Book.
We're a Cheney guy.
Yeah, I am. That's why I don't like it.
Yeah.
Because I don't like the way they change it. Very similar to like this year's Blonde.
Hashtag not my Cheney.
Not my Cheney. Christian Bale's a good casting. I'll give him that. And Sam Rockwell as George Bush actually was perfect. I might rewatch that. Not a best. It doesn't deserve. I've always said I liked it, but didn't deserve to be in this group. And Green Book winning.
Yeah, no, I mean The Favorite should have won everything. It should win this year's Oscars too.
Well, Roma was also nominated that year.
Oh yeah, that's a good movie.
And A Star Is Born.
I think that's one of my favorite shot movies of like the past recently years.
Yeah, that boy Emmanuel. Well, no, that is just Alfonso Cuarón. Actually,
yeah,
he shot it. Zack Snyder thinks he's Alfonso Cuarón. He's become director / cinematographer. I think that got to his head because people always used to say, "Oh, he'd be so much better as a cinematographer." And it's like, yo, I don't think you know what cinematographers do.
I mean, he's got one movie coming to Netflix. He'll be fine.
It looks like shit.
Zack Snyder?
I don't know if it's going to, just in terms of the visuals, it looks so washed out and poorly lit. But
you just don't get it.
Yeah, no, I clearly don't. Yeah, but there's plenty of movies you watch and you think, especially nominees. I mean, it's every year you can always pick out some that don't deserve it. I mean, like Blonde. It's weird because there always seems to be that one movie that split critics entirely, but it gets like an acting nomination.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it even gets Best Picture. And that seems to be... I thought there was a chance Blonde would get Best Picture just to piss people off.
That would have been... I kind of pissed it didn't happen because it should have been a fun day on film Twitter.
All right, we'll take one more question here. And if you guys want to see us continue with these Oscar-related questions, because we got a lot of them, subscribe to our Patreon page for $1 a month.
Hell yeah. Get that money.
Yeah, look at that plug. Just so you can pledge for $1 for just this month and listen to the pod. And then stop it. This question here.
Don't stop it. It's only $1. Hell, go for $2.
All right, we'll end it on a superhero question that relates to the Oscars.
Okay.
Because a lot of our audience were upset about this. And I wasn't upset because I didn't expect it to get much, but this question here from Matt_Samson1. What awards do you think the Batman should have been considered for?
Yeah.
But once again, you always have a superhero movie where it's like that performance could have been nominated, that director could have been nominated. It happens every year. They're just never going to get the nominations.
Somebody complained about Dano, but then I realized it was for The Fabelmans.
He wasn't nominated, was he?
No.
Oh.
But like how wasn't Dano nominated? But I'm pretty sure they were meant for the Fabelmans. What did the Batman get nominated for?
I think it was nominated
Best makeup
for
and hairstyle.
Yeah. And maybe
Yeesh.
Best Visual Effects?
Best sound. Okay. Elvis is going to win that, but I mean, for the Batman, like...
The Batman.
Should. I mean, realistically... Oh, and visual effects. Cool.
Well, I think nobody expected it to be nominated for Best Picture. People are going to complain about the acting snub, but a lot of people expected...
From who?
Cinematography, Pattinson. People wanted cinematography for Greg Fraser and best score for Giacchino.
Yeah, no, those are the two I would have liked to see, and I think kind of deserving. I mean, it's a testament to. All right, let's look at cinematography, right? Roger Deakins, Empire of Light, Elvis. What
Who shot Elvis?
Mandy Walker. A lot of my problems with Elvis has mostly to do with the editing. So I guess capturing some of those sequences, I didn't leave that movie being like, oh, that was shot very well. I didn't see Bardo.
No, didn't see Bardo either.
That's one. It's like it's so split to bad with a lot of people, and it's like 3 hours.
Oh God.
Yeah, so like that's a tough one.
Could barely get through Blonde.
All Quiet on the Western Front. Okay, I'll give you
deserving.
And Tar. I think Tar shot well.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like people always like think cinematography to mean like that one perfect shot. So if it's not like a movie like Lord of the Rings where you see like this beautiful mountain landscape, it's like, well, cinematography sucks. Doesn't fuck. But like talking about Roma, like I think that what makes that movie so visually pleasing is I think it's one of the rare cases of a movie using black and white where it actually is. It supplements the movie, and it's not just a thing to make a movie look different. Like it works for that, and just like the pans and camera work are just so impressive and giving you that feeling like you're like a fly on a wall in this story, and like you're there. That's to me what like I think cinematography, like that's what I judge it off of. And so like the Batman in terms of like I think it does both of that. Yeah. I think a lot of the fight sequences are captured very well. The camera work, and you also do have those beautiful shots with the red and the aesthetics and the lights. So I think it all is a combination of like what you should really judge cinematography on. What's the only score you can recite in your head right now from a movie this year?
Yeah, I mean the Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like that would have been the easier.
Who won the Golden? Justin Hurwitz, right?
For what?
Babylon. Won the Golden Globe.
The Babylon score is very good. Babylon was nominated, right?
Yeah, it was All Quiet on the Western Front, which I do agree with. Banshees of Inisherin, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and The Fabelmans. John Williams.
I actually did not like the All Quiet on the Western Front score, but not because I didn't like the music, but I just didn't. I thought it was out of place. But yeah, Babylon's definitely the favorite there, so I'm not going to get too up in arms.
Like, gun to my head, I couldn't hum the Fabelman score.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Babylon, same thing. I just remember it just being big and jazzy. You know how Chazelle likes it.
Big and jazzy.
Big and jazzy. That was his
Didn't
nickname
they used to
in high
call
school.
you that? No.
That was Teddy.
We hang out too much.
Yeah, there'll be snubs every year and disappointments, but...
Same jokes.
Look at this disappointment. We're ending the podcast. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. And if you don't do that, maybe you should consider it. For Aaron the Nerd 2 Monkey, I am Bo Oliver. And we will be back next week. And like I mentioned, our Patreon podcast, Fan Question Podcast, is going to be focused on the Oscars because we got so many Oscar-related questions. And we've got our Tila reviews coming out, so be on the lookout for our Episode 3 review. We might get together and do a little spoiler discussion. Teddy's been itching to get on the pod, so I'm not going to stop him. he doesn't show up for the next 3 months.
Yeah, man. He's itching. But, like, when he gets, like, you're like, oh, can you do Tuesday? Oh, I can't, the baby. Can you do Wednesday? Oh, no, I got to go to the church to plan the wedding. Teddy, you already got married.
He's been finessing the fuck out of Elena. I'll say that. He's been, I always feel weird when we post a podcast with him on it.
Yeah.
Because he told Elena, oh, I'm working late. It's just like, Teddy, like, yeah, after this, I'm going to the gym. Like, oh, goddamn.
Wow, that was probably our best review yet. Hey guys, Aaron the Nerd Soup Monkey here with a brief shameless plug before we end the video. Do you ever feel like you don't have an adequate amount of nerd soup in your life? Like you're going to bed hungry and yearning for the nonsensical yet entertaining nutrients our podcasts provide? Well, we've come up with the perfect solution. The Nerd Soup Fan Question Podcasts, exclusively available to our Patreon supporters. You can sign up now by visiting patreon.com/nerdsoup, and for the price of only $1 per month, you'll receive exclusive access to our weekly podcast, where we answer your questions that don't make it to the main show. And while you're there, you can check out the other rewards we offer to our patrons, like stickers, mugs, t-shirts, behind-the-scenes footage, and appearing in the credits at the end of our videos. And that's exactly what we're going to do right now. Roll the names of the nerds who make Nerd Soup possible. The reason why the crypto crash didn't send our lives spiraling down a black hole of no return. Alright, I'll stop talking so you can listen to this jazzy-ass music while checking if Bo spelt your name wrong in the credits.